Yeah, Andrew Tate, The Rise of Misogyny and Incels, as they say. Nana, it's been a long time.
It
What,
has.
4 New Years?
It has been a very long time.
So this is 4 New Years. Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year, Happy New Year.
Thanks, Jude. Happy New Year to you too.
Oh, it's been a long time. 2019 or 2019,
I think it was 2019. Yeah.
It's good to see you in person anyway.
Good to see you too in person.
Andrew Tate, Rise of Misogyny and Incels. Tell me, first of all, what's misogyny and incel?
Well, misogyny is essentially when you have a hatred for women. And when we talk about incel is a particular group of men who are involuntarily sexless because of the views that they hold on women. So it's not that they don't want to have sexual relationship with women. They do want to, but they can't. And as opposed to taking responsibility for the fact that the reason why they're not having sexual relationship with women is a reflection on their character, they blame it on external factors. Or women are this, women are that.
That's what incel is.
That's what incel is.
You said incel is a group of women.
A group of men.
A group of men. Oh,
so because incel, you know when I talk about incel is like a subculture at the moment. That's what it's labeled as anyway.
But I read somewhere yesterday, I read an interesting article in preparation for these.
Yeah.
And incels was described as men and women, not just men.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I don't think that there's an equivalent. In my opinion, I might be wrong.
Because the article did say the group of women as well who can have sex and they desire to have sex with men. I think what they were trying to pinpoint is as a result of different things like autism, other disabilities, or just the fact that they don't look that good enough. So it's within both humans, women and men, not just
okay,
men.
I wouldn't define incel. I think I don't I thought they tried to put together like a female version, which was like femcel, but I don't know if I heard femcel.
Jeez,
but I have to research it and confirm it.
Just leave it on that incel. No need to make it male or female. Before you know, we'll be going for transgender and non-binary and all of that. Incel. Incel, as a term, should be those who feel unwanted. That's what I read.
Yeah, essentially feel unwanted.
And they actually brought black into it. They said if you live in America as a black person, you already feel unwanted. I think they're trying to make it a broader term.
See, I don't like that because it's very specific to something quite like it's very specific.
Oh, yeah.
Because like I'm because if I was a black person in America and I was a minority and I felt unwanted, that doesn't necessarily make me an incel.
Oh no, they're trying to say that's what incels feel like, feeling that feeling of being unwanted.
Right.
So they're trying to link it to how blacks would normally.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe they're trying to stress the point. Now, misogyny, hatred for women.
Yeah.
That's a strong one. And Andrew Tate embodies all of that?
Yes.
Why?
From his views.
What views?
Because I say this because
I've listened to a couple of clips, like 2 seconds here and there. Maybe the ones I watched didn't say anything about women, but.
Because when I say Andrew Tate is misogynistic, I think it's because of the views that he has on women. Because like I said, he's not just a one-dimensional person. He has different views, and he definitely shares his views online. But his specific views on women, when he says that, after a certain age, as a woman, you're no longer desirable, you've been run through, and essentially young men shouldn't want to be the woman who's after 30 plus, look at how many men that she slept with. Whereas if you date like a 20 or 18-year-old, they're less likely to have life experiences with men. So it's essentially a tool of manipulation, because if you're actively sitting there and you're advising people to go for younger women because they have less life experiences and they don't know what's going on in the world, and you can easily manipulate them and mold them into the type of woman that you want, essentially.
Okay, I see.
It's manipulation.
So is it suggesting this for older men or younger men of the same age?
But that's something, here's the thing is that he says this, right? And of course, I don't know how old Andrew Tate is. I can't speak on his age.
I'm pretty sure he's on the 30s.
Yeah, probably around.
No, on the 30s, on the 40s.
Yeah, because he's bald. So I don't know. But
he's bald.
He's bald.
Where did that come from? On the 20s can be bald.
I mean, you know what I'm trying to say. I'm just assuming that he's bald.
That's hatred towards bald men.
Okay, I'll take that too, because I said he's bald.
Okay, for my opinion though, I maybe because I really don't listen to it, I just think him and the rest like him, and they're all distractions these days.
Oh yeah, very, 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 very
so I really don't.
Because I think it's okay if you consume, and I mean, I don't think it's okay if you consume his views on his particular content on women, which I think is very toxic. But I think when a lot of young people have access to these things, and I don't want to ever think that if I had raising a young man, I wouldn't want them to consume.
I don't even think it's about young men, though.
I don't want you to consume.
I think it's also about men of my age, 40s, 50s.
But I think you're more impressionable at a certain age.
Yeah, what about those already like in their 40s and who already set in their ways but express the same views? Don't you think that
it reinforces that idea?
It reinforces the idea. That's what I was going.
Definitely reinforces that idea.
Of course, if you're saying men shouldn't go with women who's got body counts, like he said, body counts in quote, I don't know what that means. Men who's gone through a lot of women too, what does that mean? Should women go for them? Does that make the man more experienced? Or...
I think on the flip side, I think that the way that misogyny works is that the things that men will do that you wouldn't bat an eyelid. Like everybody just assumes that, oh, that's the norm. As a woman, if you do it, it's like, oh my God.
Don't you think women prop that up too? Because I've heard women say boys will be boys more than guys saying boys will be boys. I've heard that statement from women more.
No, I think sometimes you kind of have to understand that we're in a patriarchal society, right? So there are certain views that it doesn't matter
women
how...
prop up the patriarch society, the matriarch prop up the patriarch society though.
But it's because, right, you get to a point where, I hate using this term, but you get to a point where it's very, very difficult. You don't live in a vacuum, right? When you're in a society which is patriarchal, right, and you're socialized to think this way, so you think that this is normal. That is the norm. So I feel like you have to do self-reflection as a woman. You have to sit back and question, why do I have these views? Why do I think that this is acceptable? Why is it that I have no issue with sexually policing my daughter, but I leave my son to run amok?
Yeah, yes, that exactly.
All these things,
boys will be boys.
It's all part of the patriarchy.
Yeah,
and it's because you've been socialized to
yeah.
think that this is the norm.
Yeah.
So then you essentially, if you're not a critical person, and if you don't sit back and assess it, you just accept that, okay, this is just what it is.
I think on the rise of misogyny, you're because there's been hatred not towards women in general, but towards some certain women in society. We can easily go back to Piers Morgan and
of course.
The hatred for Meghan Markle. I'm not a fan of Markle. I don't know her from before. I've not suddenly just found new love for her. I've never seen anything she was on. So great. She's married to one of our princes here. So fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, my issue with that was not necessarily that Piers hated women, but
he specifically targeted
her because she snubbed him, and he just cannot take that. And that for a man is just not on. You move on, man. What's the problem? You gotta wipe off.
It's also a sign of misogyny.
It is a sign. I thought it was just. I felt pity for Piers at the time. I thought he had mental health problems and he should be taken somewhere to be taken care of anyway. So that happened. Then we have the other dude. Never liked him.
Which one is this?
Clarkson guy.
Oh yeah, because
I never liked anything
that
he was.
article.
I never liked anything he was.
Yeah, that article was the language used.
But all he was doing was following up on the storyline of one of the Game of Thrones scenes where Queen, whatever, Cersei, was it Queen Cersei? She was walked through the streets naked and they were throwing things. It's a very disturbed mind. What he did was really wrong. Targeting a woman again is a shame.
And they wanted to parade her basically naked.
Yeah, but that's just not on. I don't know which part of the whole he came out of, but
it's quite interesting that this article was allowed to be published. Because I always say this, that you don't just wake up, write an article.
No, you don't just wake up. There's so many checks processes and balances you have to go through.
So it's like at every given point, which is when we talk about when misogyny is integral in the system, because for it to have gone through all these checks and nobody thought, hold up a minute, this article perhaps shouldn't
Which paper was it published in?
I can't even remember.
Yeah, I don't read any of them. But I don't. Those views are really, they're not on, and it should have been stripped and whipped in the public market. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
But imagine if I was the one who said that, I would have been out of job. I would have been ostracized from society. One, because I'm black. Two, because I'm poor. He's rich. He's a white guy. He's a white man. That's another power structure.
Class definitely plays a big
and that's
role
what I know. Andrew Tate has said so many times. He's black because he's got black in his whatever. I don't know why what he's trying to do with saying that. He's another white guy with money, with fast cars.
And I think that's I always say this.
And all of these embodies the power structure.
I was just about to say that. I feel like the only reason why Andrew Tate gets the platform that he does, and the fact that people sort of support his views, because at the bottom line is, I say this all the time, and I think a lot of men on the internet were supporting Andrew Tate or like the sort of content that he puts out was because when it comes down to it, it's because he had money, and and that's what it comes. And for a lot of men bow down to men that they see as being in a position higher than them, and they measure that by how much money you make.
Yeah, it's power. It's tall.
So essentially,
this is what we look at. Power is tall.
Yeah.
He's got money.
He's got money.
He's got loudmouth.
Yeah.
And he lives the life.
And he lives a lavish lifestyle. Yeah.
That's what they see as embodies power anyway.
And also
and it's the same for women as well. When it's a tall woman, wear high heels, has a powerful job, high position in society, we again attribute power to that. And sometimes,
but on the flip side, right? On the flip side, I don't think as a high-powered woman you're desired so much.
Oh no, that's story for another day.
Yeah, so it doesn't work exactly. It doesn't work in the same way.
Yeah, coming back to the Andrew Tate and the rise of misogyny, do you think he's contributed to the rise, or it's been there? Or, I know they said the rising tide lifts the ship.
Yeah. I think, of course, we're in a misogynistic society, and misogyny's always been there. But I think what's happened is that we spend so much time on our phones these days. Like, nobody can deny that. And like I say, especially I speak specifically to the younger generation who spend a lot of time on social media. And that's the content that they're seeing and that they're consuming. So for me, it worries me that we've essentially done all this work, right, to try and make sure that, okay, women are treated fairly in society. We've made all this progress. And for me, sometimes I sit back, I kind of feel like we're retrogressing a bit, because all these like content that I see that go viral about, oh yeah, women need to be in the kitchen, they need to be cooking, they need to be doing this.
They go viral, this sort of stuff?
They go viral.
I don't see them though.
You will be surprised.
Oh wow.
They go viral. And for me, I sit back and I'm like, what is going on? Why is this type of content like leading the way?
Reminds me now, I think Andrew Tate has also talked about, and I didn't like that one. He was talking to me specifically. He was saying a guy shouldn't be in the kitchen wasting his time, should be making money.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, what an idiot, because I spent time in the kitchen to cook for my family, and I love that.
Because I always it comes down to it, and I'm like, cooking and giving yourself food is sustenance. Like, you need food.
Yeah, our
so
ancestors
why? Why does it have to be designated?
Before us, they went hunting and they found food. They didn't wait for a woman or the female version of them those days to cook for them. I really don't know what's happening in the society we live. Again, it's got the platform because it's got money.
Of course, yes, he does.
And
so he's able to
and
push his
protected.
content. Yeah, and he's definitely able to push his content. But I think it was also because, for me, I'm never going to stop saying this, I'm very worried about the young generation, because I feel like we did so much work, and like we've kind of like essentially had conversations about things that were done perhaps in our parents' generation.
I want to go a bit political. No.
Oh God. Okay.
Probably it's not related to it. Now, he's talking about his hatred towards women. What about the situation where we even have women who really can tell us what a woman is these days? We have women saying, "Tell me what a woman is," and they're saying a lot of stuff instead of just saying who a woman is. Is that related to misogyny? Is that like because you mentioned something about it feels like women, we've done a lot to make the society fairer for women, but it seems like we're going back.
Yeah,
Would you say that sort of where women are asked what is a woman and they're unable to really say what a woman is? Do you think it's part of that retrogression?
I think it's more so because I think there is allowing people to define who they are.
So does that not take the power away from women?
But the thing is that I don't think I should be able to not essentially tell you who you are.
Okay, but what is a woman? Are you a woman?
I'm a woman. But
Why?
I identify
what makes you a woman?
What makes me a woman.
Yeah.
My biological makeup makes me a woman.
Okay.
This is from my perspective now.
So you said you're a woman. Great.
Yeah.
Now, Andrew Tate's hatred towards you, but other women are there saying you cannot say that you're a woman because somebody else identifies as a woman. Would you classify that as misogyny?
We're talking about essentially, I feel like trans women's experiences and my experiences are very different. I don't think they're synonymous. So I don't ever want to sit here and say that, our experiences are the same because we experience different things. So I've never been a trans woman. Those are not my experiences. So I cannot speak on that.
See,
I can only speak on my experiences, specifically
what I'm trying to
as a Black African woman.
Yeah, what I'm trying to
Very
pick
specific.
out, what I'm trying to unpick is this.
Yeah.
Because
You want a definition for
no,
what a woman
I don't
is
want a
or what-
definition.
or-
I feel when you was talking about women, how they fought for a fairer society, and it seems that we're going backwards. I feel that pain, and I feel women should be safe in societies, and women should be able to stand for themselves and say what they want to say without us men standing over them and defining which way they should go. Now with the Andrew Tate, now coming from his own angle, hatred towards women, Piers Morgan is there, Jeremy Clarkson, and so many people in society, men having those sort of views about women. Now, a woman now is boxed in a corner. She can't even say what a woman is. She's afraid to say I'm a woman because of offending other people. I'm just saying the oppression is real for women.
Oh yeah. I think there's a lot of identity politics at the moment, which I personally don't like to get involved in.
Because I don't want to put you in a position where you've just said just now that, in my personal opinion, I really don't want to put you in that position. And it seems like we've put you in that position to say, in my personal opinion, you're telling the whole world that this is my personal opinion. No, I'm thinking you should hit your hand on your chest and say, I am a woman, end of.
Yes.
And then women will be able to stand and fight against whatever is coming towards them, and men should too stand with them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no. I understand where you're going with it. But then I also don't want to exclude. I don't want to have exclusionary politics.
I'm sorry I put you into that position where you're talking about using language like exclusion. That shouldn't come. All of this is just political safe or political correctness language, so to speak. I'm saying Andrew Tate is bold enough to come on camera and say all the stuff he's saying.
Yeah.
I should be bold enough to go back to say to him, middle finger, mate, everything you're saying is wrong.
Yeah.
But we're all just being politically correct. And like you said, it's not just about the young generation coming. A lot of people, they already have these ideas. He's reinforcing all of that.
Of course, it reinforces those ideas.
I don't watch his videos, but I've seen people making comments on Instagram and all. And these are people that I thought they had something in their head. And they were just blaming the system for Matrix for ruining Andrew Tate because of his views against blah, blah, blah.
Another thing, I was like, that quite worried me because the bottom line is that the man has been arrested for human trafficking.
Yeah.
In order
and
for
he wasn't trafficking men, he was trafficking women.
Of course,
again.
And that's another thing. And I think sometimes I don't know if it's as a society, we kind of overlook the harm that as women go through.
Yeah.
Because we all know, and I think men know this as well, because of how overprotective they are of their sisters and their daughters. You know the harm that a potential man.
Yeah, I'm very protective of my sister.
Pose.
I used to throw blows those days.
Yeah,
come around my sister.
Because you know the harm.
But I was beaten too, going out to check in. I was sat on so many times, so hey, it was just it went around.
But I'm like, you're aware of this. So sometimes I don't understand how when you're having these discussions, like they'll just be like, well, no, that doesn't, not all men, that doesn't happen.
No.
Not all men, but you specifically are very wary.
To me, what I will always say is the power to do good and evil resides in all of us.
All of us, of course, definitely.
Fela made this popular, said this uprising will bring out the beast in us. I think sometimes in some certain situations, you don't know what we're capable of doing.
Yeah.
I protected my sisters as much as I could. I'll protect my daughter, but I'll protect other women too.
Yeah.
At a club not too long ago, a lady was incapacitated somehow, and a dude touched me and said, I'll pay to have sex with her. And I was almost going to knock that guy out. I said, are you for real? Are you mad?
Yeah.
But I really wanted to do more, to really smash his face in. Trust me. I really wanted to smash that dude's face in. And I was actually looking for him. I asked guys later, I said, there was this dude that do any of you know? I really wanted to go after him because he escaped that night. What if I wasn't there to protect that lady? What if he's done it so many times before?
Oh, he's done it before, definitely. For him to be so bold to come up to a stranger.
He touched me.
A stranger.
That was really what got me. So it's not enough for us to sit there and say not all men. It's what do we do to check all of that?
To check.
When your friends say things like, ooh, look at that. What did you say? Do you just accept that as boys will be boys?
And I always say, like, that's the culture, isn't it? Because it's almost like, oh yeah, it's accepted. It's acceptable behavior. So, and that's what I take issue with, because a lot of times I sit back and I'm like, how, because I have friends where, in my opinion, we've been in quite vulnerable situations, and I feel like, why are you doing this? And when these men approach, and you can clearly see that this person is not fit to have a conversation with you because they're clearly intoxicated. Yeah. What are your intentions at that point?
I worked in the club as a doorman before in my previous life, and I saw all of this. And I was really, 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 really frustrated. Women are really not protected. If you've come out to have a nice time, you should have a nice time and really do that in a safe place.
Yeah.
But I tell you, there are hunters out there, the cannibals and vampires, and they are mostly men.
Mostly, yes.
I know I was touched a few times by women. I just laughed over it. I don't know why I laughed over it. Looking back now, it was sexual assault. I should have sued them. But hey, the men.
But I think I always say we
the
need to
percentage
look
of
at
men
the
doing that is
of course
is a lot. It's
exactly which is what I keep saying. I'm like, yes, people when you have these conversations, people are like, yeah, but women do this and women do that. Women also touch men inappropriately, and I always talk about it. But let's look at the occurrences. You only have to look at the data.
Yeah. The data is there. It's clearly men. There's a problem with men. This is how I look at it.
I'm like, look at the data.
So I look at it this way. If a dog beats a human, they would put that dog down.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about it. This is the way I look at us. I look at us as human animals. And if a guy's acting that way, there's something wrong with him. He should be put down, not in the sense of killing, but put down by society.
By society,
like Andrew Tate should have been excluded from social media for a long time.
Platform.
Yeah, it should have been deplatformed.
I think it took
Piers Morgan should have been deplatformed. And the same thing with Jeremy Clarkson and every other one who has opinion like that.
It's almost as if that if you say really horrible things about women, there's no consequences. And I feel like that's why
that's exactly what I was coming about.
Yeah,
that's why I brought about the definition of a woman.
Yeah, there's no consequences.
Who is a woman? Because a woman is being attacked. So when I hear that, I feel my mom is being attacked. My sisters are being attacked. My wife is being attacked. Yeah. My friends who are female being attacked. My daughter is being attacked. Those are the things that I see. So it's like you get away with all of that. And now you have women who are saying, yes, they can't even define what a woman is. Yeah. And they attack women for saying that a woman is this. I'm saying, come on, man. And we're talking about misogyny, the hatred towards women. I'm seeing women. The first thing when they have in the fight with a woman, they go to just show the woman's nakedness out in the public. Why do they do that? Guys don't do that. So I'm saying you have to set examples too. Somehow it's like you hate your sex. I don't know why.
No, yeah, but like I said before, it's like you're in a system where and you're not in a vacuum. As much as we like to have conversations about this, human beings, you're not in a vacuum. You're like your environment and the way that you're raised shapes the way that you think. So when you've been raised in an environment whereby this is what is acceptable, because I've had to check my parents sometimes for saying things that I think.
Exactly, it's like, quite difficult to do that.
Yeah, because because on the flip side, I'm like, yes, but if this was a man, you wouldn't say that. So why is it acceptable?
Exactly.
It's because of the way that they've been raised and like the views that you form.
And no one's been able to check them.
And no one has been able to tell you that perhaps like you need to assess this and think about it.
So coming back to the incels, and you said there's the rise of incels. Is that correct information? Because I know one dude somewhere outside of London did some things. Did he shoot people or... There was a dude outside of London who...
I wasn't aware of that.
He shot a lot of people and I think he killed himself. I can't remember. Permit me if I'm saying the wrong thing, but yeah. So there's a rise of that, of men out there, like you said, blaming women for not wanting them or...
Yeah. So essentially like...
They're not good enough for the women or...
Yeah. Because it's like you want this, but you're involuntarily in this situation. So then you blame. So
we then turn out and blame women for that?
Yeah. And then it's like, okay, women are not doing this. They're supposed to be doing that. They're supposed to be doing that. They're not doing it. They're supposed to be at home, cooking, cleaning. They're supposed to... And essentially you form these toxic views about what women should be.
Oh, I see. So maybe seeing... a woman on TV that we identify as powerful, pisses them off, like because she shouldn't be talking on TV. She should be at home scrubbing and
but because that's the narrative that's being pushed on all these people on these social media platforms, that essentially women have lost their place and they should go back into
when I was growing up as a young guy, though, I was so not confident talking to the opposite sex. I would buy cards for a girl that I liked. I would give a friend to go give the girl. Would that be classified as an incel? No.
I would, but here's the thing, right? Being shy
is different.
And it's very, very different.
Okay. So this one is like they're acting on this and then carry out that.
Because then you're brooding resentment inside
do they go out
of you.
to attack women as a result of that? Or?
But possibly that might be because you're brewing resentment, and what do you do with resentment? At some point, you're going to want to carry out some sort of act.
Yeah, of course. I see. So coming back to the misogyny and the rise of incels because of people like Andrew Tate on TV. Now he's not on TV anymore. He's in prison,
he's
so
in
to
jail.
speak. Or
in Romania.
For some other things.
You know, he might get bailed.
After he picked up a fight with Greta Thunberg, and a lot of people thought, "Oh, the system has got him." No, I don't think it's because of that.
It had nothing to do with that.
Because they must have had.
I mean, they're probably pursuing him for a long time. I think they were waiting for him to come back to Romania, and it's only because he posted the picture of that pizza. Apparently, it's like a pizza chain in Romania.
Well, guys, don't be posting picture of your pizza, please. Have your pizza in the hiding. Yeah, but of course, we were yet talking about these things, and misogyny, as you described it, hatred towards women is not on at all.
No,
in any form or any way we act on it, it's not on. And people like Tate and Piers Morgan and the others should not be given a platform to do that.
It should definitely be deplatformed.
But then again, I think it tells more about a society where probably this is how majority of the men think anyway. They just have their few spokespersons who are bold enough to come out and air those opinions. And with the incels as well, it's troubling times for women. I just feel women are being attacked from all corners anyway.
Very troubling times. I think you just have to be aware of it and protect the women that you know.
So how do women protect themselves?
That is the thing. I haven't quite figured out how to. I feel like that's why I think you have to be very cutthroat.
Is it by having women-only club, women-only hotels, women-only swimming pools, women-only housing? I think they're doing something like that in Croydon. Is that the way to go?
But I think it's not a bad idea, because I always say it that society always feels safer with women. That's why a lot of the times, like, I say this, like, you're more accepting of having a female childminder than a male childminder.
Society made us feel that way.
Yeah, but society made us feel that way because you feel safer with, like.
Is it not just the fact that we see women as people with motherly qualities?
I mean,
naturally.
that plays a role in it. It definitely does contribute. But I think just in general, you feel safer as a woman. I know that as a woman, I feel safer amongst other women. That's really a huge statement. Yeah. So guys shouldn't be hovering around women when they meet them in club. I don't do that. I stay very far anyway, because I'm there to just have a nice time by myself. Yeah, I don't think it is right for guys to be hovering around women. Yeah, I don't like it when they do it. Yeah, not even when they still clear mind. And then sometimes it's like, and of course sometimes you want to be polite. So you're like, I really don't like it when I see guys. I don't go club there a lot, but when I've been, I really hate that, to see guys, whether they're drunk or not, hovering around women. For Christ's sake, respect yourself. Yeah, it's a shame, but I don't feel safe around a lot of men. Do you feel safe around me now? Jude, come on. Yes, I feel safe around you. Because you're making me so nervous around me right now. No, I feel safe around you. Again, like I said, if a dog beats a human, and then I think we'll end on this note. If a dog beats a human, they'll put the dog down. There's no question about it. So if man is defected, man has to be repaired or put down. That's how we end it. It might be very controversial. My put down doesn't mean kill the man. I'm saying any way society decides to put man down, they need to do it. If it's by speaking to men, if it's by locking them up, then do it. I think man who's acting that way is defected. It's simple as that. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, see what happened with Sarah Everard and the police officer. And now we're seeing a lot of metropolitan policemen who's committed rape loads of times. Heinous crime. We've not heard them committing rape against men, it's just against women. Because once again, I say it all the time, even the institution that's there to protect you, right? Even those institutions, as a woman, you're still being harmed. Well, we'll end on that sad note. Yep. Very sad.